Y'all get ready. It's the hunt for Bolivar. Sometime during this live feed, either during or after, we're going to give out the clue for today's Hunt for Bolivar 2024. Y'all stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and it's Wednesday morning. It's our Ask Me About Bolivar, where we've been diving into the businesses and the entities here on Bolivar Peninsula, letting you know exactly who they are and what they do down here for our 27 miles of paradise. Today I'm here with Kate Newberry with Galveston County ESD number 2.
Yes.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about why it was formed, how it was formed, and what they do here on the peninsula. You see the number 2 on all the ambulances and everything, and more or less that's what y'all govern.
Yes.
So let's talk about the inception, why we have it.
Back in 2012 and 2013, we were approached with the possibility to create an emergency services district here for the Bolivar Peninsula. It was either create the district or we can no longer have ambulance service provided by anybody over here. So a group of people got together and made it happen. We had an election and it passed in 2013. And immediately after that, the county commissioners, along with the county judge, appointed 5 individuals to serve as commissioners on the Emergency Services District Board, which is what I sit on. I was a founding member. I've been on the board for 11 years. I am currently the president of the board. There are 4 other members. We have Tim Byram, who's the vice president. We have Greg Fountain, who is the treasurer. We have Tim Hardy, who is the secretary, and Cecil Clay, who is the assistant treasurer.
Okay.
Our main function when we first formed was to collect a tax so that we could pay for the services, and that includes the 3 volunteer fire departments as well. So
y'all get the taxes and then distribute it.
Correct. We create a budget. We're actually in the budget process right now for the next fiscal calendar year. And with those taxes, we kind of divided up between the 4 entities. When we first formed, the ambulance service was run by a private company called PEMC. Most people probably remember that name. And about 5 or 6 years ago, we actually took over the ambulance service as well. So when you see the ambulances and it says ESD number 2, we own it, we operate it through our district manager, Doug Saunders, who does an excellent job at that. So yeah, we use the taxes and we divide it up between the entities. The fire departments, they still have fundraisers, so they're still able to earn their own money on top of what we give them, but I feel like we're doing a great job with the resources that we have.
So do the fire departments, when they're getting money, how do they get money from y'all? Do they submit requests or a budget for the year on what they'd like to have and why they'd like to have it?
Yes, that's exactly the process. We have the wish list at the beginning of the year, and then we kind of narrow it down to necessities and what we absolutely need. And we cover 95% of that for most of the fire departments. And that includes the electric bill, the fuel for the vehicles, the insurance in some cases for some of them as well. We just are waiting on the arrival of a brand new fire engine that we purchased for Crystal Beach Volunteer Fire Department. And I don't ever look at it as we're buying an asset for one department. I believe we're buying it for the entire peninsula.
They all work together.
Correct.
I mean, and you know, I cover some of the brush fires and stuff. And it's, you know, one may get called out because it's on that end of the peninsula, but I can tell you, they all show up.
And they do.
And they work together.
Yeah, they do.
And it's the same way. Let's talk about the ambulance service, because our ambulance service here, knock on wood, I've only had to use it once and Chris used it once, but it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that some of the equipment they've got for like doing CPR, people don't realize how much it takes to do CPR, and all the ambulances have the machine where they can hook someone up and do it automatically. Is it easy to keep up with the Joneses? And I mean that meaning compared to Houston, our ambulance service versus Houston or one of the bigger metropolitan areas, where do we stand on that? Because from what I've seen on save rates and stuff like that, we're above national average.
We are, and I might be biased, but I believe that we really do have the best medics and we have the best service right now. It's hard because it's an incredibly expensive industry that I didn't really know a whole lot about until I got on the board. A new ambulance is outrageously expensive, but worth it. And if you budget correctly, you can afford to do the upgrades that you need to. Our save rate is phenomenal. Our billing collection is phenomenal compared to a lot of other places, and that helps us to afford the new stuff. We definitely have a lot of the latest technology and continue to ensure that we are up to pace. We're different than anywhere else. You're looking at an hour of CPR on somebody before you can get them to a hospital.
Well, and that's what was my next question or comment. Y'all really work close with UTMB, don't you?
Yes, extremely close. We have a great relationship with the hospital. They know us when they see us. They communicate with us extremely well.
And they help if there was a big event, like I know the Jeep weekend, they had people over here in the tent. And I'm going to make a comment on that real quick. For the last 3 or 4 years, every Friday afternoon, I go over and Doug Saunders walks me through what new they have, what they had before, what they have now, and lets me know on what they're doing. And I tell you what, y'all have really keyed in on getting people and trying to save ambulance time.
Yes.
Because of the triage unit you have here now that you actually had, I think, doctors and some nurses over here this year.
From UTMB.
And it was neat because it saved ambulance time. And I hadn't talked to Doug to find out how much ambulance time, but, you know, sometimes when you have 4, 5, 6 ambulances, man, it takes some time to get here or to get there. And if you're able to treat someone on location, and that's part of, I think, what Doug's helped put together is the work together with UTMB and finding new ways to make sure we have the resources here for the local public, you know, the local people. And he's really emphasized on, I always want to make sure there's an ambulance here for our local taxpayers.
Well,
you know,
and
to me, that's a big deal.
I agree. That's what we're here for. We are the stewards of the taxpayers' money. So whenever we have a big event like Jeep Week or the 4th of July, we really plan to where our assets are available to the people that live here and the tourists, the people that are visiting. But then we usually try to get help to keep those people on the sand so that we can really focus on the land.
The pandemic came in and taxes, we were packed down here. I think you and I butted heads a couple times on some ideas, but, you know, we agreed to disagree. Did that help bring in more funds to the ESD board?
I would say yes. I think anytime we have, even Jeep Week, as people feel the way that they feel about it and they're entitled to feel about it, every penny that's spent at a business here impacts us in the positive. So anytime we have more people down here for whatever reason, it's more money coming into the ESD.
Did it help you get a jump on some things to where you're able to keep up, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think that probably, I think if we went back and looked at the numbers, it would probably show that peak helped us along the way.
Okay.
We're really conscious about our money. We have what we call the hurricane fund, because we're just terrified that when one does come and we don't have any more tax dollars coming in, we need to be prepared to operate without it. So anytime that we have a little bit more than we can put into that fund, it's a win for us.
Yeah, you and I were talking beforehand about the Gulf and what's going on out there, and I've started doing some stuff even here because I have to pack up studio equipment and computers so that I can operate, and I've got a place in High Island. If we did have a hurricane, we have the FEMA building up in High Island. Is that where emergency personnel will stay during a hurricane, or the ambulances and that?
Yes, if it's one that is bad enough that we need to move, we will move to High Island. I feel like there might be 1 or 2 that stays at the Crystal Beach substation. It is elevated and it is built to withstand a certain amount. But we also want to protect all of our assets. So we will be moving
Right.
all of our trucks and ambulances up to High Island. But we'll be here.
Right. Highland's going to be busy.
Yes.
You'll see a rush of people if we ever get anything close.
Yes.
What's the one thing you want people to know about the ESD board? Because it is a volunteer
Yes.
a job, and so there's no pay. And I've seen you at like Jeep Weekend, you were up, and Gunner was up, your husband, the fire chief of Crystal Beach, was up at the triage unit and making sure everything. If there's one thing you wanted people to know about the ESD, what would it be that they probably don't realize?
Well, I do want them to know that, as you said, the board is 100% volunteer. We all have to own property in Crystal Beach or on the peninsula, but we don't have to live here. I've always felt like the fact that I live here, I own a business, I'm a taxpayer. It just means a lot to me to be such a part of this big thing. We're here to ensure the safety and the lives of our citizens that live here, and we really are here to help ensure that the fire departments and the medics have everything that they need to do their job at the best of their ability.
When y'all have a monthly meeting,
Yes.
and it's open to the public,
All of our meetings are open to the public.
when is that typically, and how can people find out more information on the ESD number 2? And maybe they want to go to a meeting, because you do have public comment in the meetings, don't you?
At every meeting we have public comment. So our meetings are generally the third Wednesday of every month at noon. They're at the Crystal Beach Fire Department substation. If there's any changes, if we need to move the meetings, we always post it on our Facebook page, but we also have a website. It's gcesd2.org, and you can find everything that you need to know, including our personal emails if you want to ask us a question, to get in contact with Doug or anybody that you need to.
They can contact through that.
Yes.
So, well, Kate, thanks for joining us. You had a long drive this morning to get down here from their new house up here to the front. I asked her if the AC even cooled down. So, and thanks for your time, because you've been a president now, been on it for 11 years, I guess, and the president for the last 5 years. And so I know you're dedicated to it with 2 kids now, school, the businesses, and everything. And then your husband out wrestling alligators now when he needs to.
It's nonstop.
It's nonstop around there. And so thank you from Team Bolivar and from everyone. I know Doug and I talk quite a bit on and off about events and stuff down here. And that's one thing that I can say. And like I said, I've used an ambulance once. Chris has used it once. The service was just unbelievable. You know, it might have helped that I knew the guys. In fact, my comment to them was, you know, my appendix had burst. And they were all putting bets on, was it the appendix or something else? I said, come on, guys, you know, call Vegas when I'm in the hospital. So let's get there. So anyway, thanks to everyone. The equipment, I love the new ambulances y'all have gotten. Do you have any more ambulances coming, or have we received them all now?
We've received them all, but we are starting to get on a plan to where every few years we're doing the upgrades that we need to. Our environment is devastating.
Harsh.
Yes,
harsh,
absolutely. So
great. Well, for more information on the ESD, please visit their website. But we've got the Hunt for Bolivar that we're going to do real quick. The clue, Kate didn't know about this, but we've been doing this. I want to thank the sponsors that make it possible real quick. The Big Store is a presenting sponsor. Crystal Beach Decor and More, Bolivar Trash Company, Latitude 29 Surf Shop, Bolivar Live TV, West Canal Beach Buggies, Seaside Lumber, Swedes Real Estate, Priest Insurance Agency, Norma Smalley Realtor, and Island Liquor. Thank you to all our sponsors. Today's clue, Wednesday, July 10th, clue number 2. Bolivar loves to play games while eating candy canes. Bolivar loves to play games while eating candy canes. Remember, we put this clue up by 7 a.m. in the window of the Tourism Center, and we'll be back tomorrow with another clue in the Hunt for Bolivar and hopefully more information on the ESD. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live with Ask Me About Bolivar. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.